Dear Donald Trump, my name is Elsa Hendrick, and I am here to speak on the issues of the high levels of school violence and school shootings in public schools. This is an issue that needs to be addressed due to the number of school shootings and other types of violence in schools. There has been 843 school shootings since Sandy Hook, which took place in 2012, and an increasing amount which needs to end. The most prevalent form of violence in schools is gun violence, as well as bullying. Students have been affected by this in the past, and many have done campaigns to stop the issue, but no resolution has occurred. Students go to school to learn and further their education, not to be threatened by others or even shot. Many outcomes can occur due to school violence, such as alcohol, drug use, and suicide. The violence doesn't just happen to students, it also happens to teachers. A study done by the Constitutional Rights Foundation showed that 8% of teachers said they have been threatened with violence on school grounds at least once a month, and 2% have reported that they have been physically attacked each year. Also, that same study interviewed 1,219 10th graders, and they claimed that they could get a gun if they wanted. 20% have handled a gun without adult knowledge or supervision, and 17% have carried a concealed gun. School violence is happening all throughout America, and I believe it is becoming a huge safety risk to young adolescents and even an uncontrollable epidemic. According to the RAND organization, violence is most common in large schools, and also middle school students are the most likely targets of this violent behavior. In order to prevent this violent behavior, all schools should implement the use of metal detectors, the presence of security guards on campus, surveillance cameras, changing school policies, and counseling at-risk students as ways to prevent violence. I believe this should be implemented and monitored so students feel safer in their learning environment. Usually, generally speaking, there are two ways students cope with bullying. Students look towards suicide or violence, which can lead to homicide, along with many other ways to deal with it. An example of this is the Columbine shooting, where Eric Haas and Dylan Caboy decided to unleash their anger on innocent high school students as a result of bullying. They killed 15 innocent students and injured 20 people and put everyone's lives at danger and risk. If these students had told somebody that they were getting bullied at school, they might have saved all those innocent students that got their lives taken by two of their peers. With the violence prevention programs implemented now, they don't really provide the help that students need in these violent situations. What students need is counseling for their disciplinary problems and mediating in specific incidents of conflict. Counseling involves the student and parent in a friendly environment where they can feel safe and talk to adults about what is currently going on in their lives. Mediation and conflict resolution programs negotiate and resolve conflicts in a constructive manner as soon as they happen. This is a very beneficial program that solves the issue right away, but these programs are only in some school systems. If you make it mandatory for all schools to have these programs, I think it would make a huge difference for prevention of violence and bullying. According to the Constitutional Rights Foundation studies, 35% of U.S. homes have guns at home, which means that roughly 11 million children have access to guns. This is where the kids have access to their parents' guns since they aren't locked up securely. Teachers and staff should learn how to be prepared for these specific violent situations and how to handle it if something were to happen in class. Also, they should be prepared for a protocol for all situations and how they should handle it, such as a school shooter or students being verbally abusive or physically fighting. I think you should create a law that initiates a program for students in trouble or struggling with bullying or violence for all school systems anywhere in the United States. This will allow students to feel safe at their school. Overall, school violence is a huge issue in America that definitely needs to be addressed, and I think by creating this new law that specifies that all schools will create a program that deals with troubled students, this program will help reduce the amount of violence and bullying all throughout schools across the United States. I would ask you to grant the United States with this new law, which will make the community a better and safer place by keeping kids out of trouble. Here is a short video clip on the statistics of school shootings since Columbine. Here is a TV interview with Sue Claboyd, the mother of the Columbine killer, who is addressing her son's actions for her first TV interview.
I mean, I had all those illusions that everything was okay because, and more than anything else, because my love for him was so strong.
She says not a day goes by she doesn't think of the victims and their families.
I just remember sitting there and reading about them. All these kids and the teacher. And I keep thinking, constantly thought, how I would feel if it were the other way around and one of their children had shot mine. I would feel exactly the way they did. I know I would.